Use a graphics calculator to solve the following simultaneous equations graphically and sketch the screen from which the solution was obtained. Now, our first thing is we need to have both of our equations in a form of y equals. That's the only way you can put it onto your graphics calculator. So my first equation, y equals negative 3x plus 5, is already in that form, so that's great. Our second equation is 4x minus 7y plus 8 equals 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show all my working for the sake of you knowing what's going on. I'm going to I'm going to take my negative 7y to the other side because it's negative and I want it in the form of y equals. So I'm going to say plus 7y on this side, plus 7y on this side. Okay, that will cancel. That will leave us with 4x plus 8 equals 7y. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do now two steps in one. Okay, so I'm going to divide by 7 on this side. I'm going to divide by 7 each term on that side. So each term is divided by 7. That's the trick there. And now in the same time, I'm just going to swap the two sides. So this y I'm going to write on this side, y equals, and on this side I have left 4 over 7x plus 8 over 7. Now this and this are both in the right form, and I can put that onto my calculator. So let's see how we go with that. My first step is to I want a new graph, so you can just go down to graphs, click on that, new graph. Depends on how many documents you have open. Just want to quickly have more exposure so you can actually see the calculator. Up here, you might have different functions, depends on how many other documents you have open, so that's not a worry. Our first step is to put in our first equation, minus 3x plus 5. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to say negative 3x, I just wish you could see everything, negative 3x plus 5, enter, and that will give me my graph looking like that. I'm now going to put in my second equation, y equals 4 over 7x plus 8 over 7. To do that, I need the tab key to get another function. I'm going to now say 4 divide by 7. Now there is a button on the division sign. If you use control, division sign, it actually gives you 4 over 7. Go out with the arrow, x, plus 8, control divide over 7. You see now that equation looks exactly the same. If I say enter, I get a second equation that looks like that. So clearly we can see that they are intercepting there. Sometimes you'll need to change at this stage the window that you're looking through so that you can have a clear view. Now remember, the important thing is that you are able to draw this graph. They say you have to draw what you see. In other words, I will need to draw a graph using that. Now I know that my y-intercept for this graph here will go at through plus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will go through plus 5. But I don't know what's the y-intercept. So you can find out the x-intercept. You can find out what's the x-intercept algebraically. Or remember, you can say menu, go to analyze graph, and say what is my 0 points. Zeros are where they go through. They ask us which graph. I'm going to say graph, just press on graph F6, where, and you just press on the lower bound. It's on the left hand side of the and on the right hand side of it anyway. Press again, and you can clearly see that the value then comes up as 1.67. So we know that it goes through 1, 2 through 1.67, and you're ready to draw your graph. You're also going to do the same for the other graph. So I'm going to say menu. I'm going to say 6 analyze graph. 6 analyzed graph with zeros. And I'm also going to say for which graph. I want to graph 7. Click on the left, which is the lower bound, anywhere on the left of the intercept, right of the intercept. Again, which gives us a value of -2. So I go -1, -2. I know that that graph goes through -2, okay, and it goes to the y-intercept, which is 8/7. Oh, sorry, yeah, the y-intercept is 8/7, which is 1 1/7. 1 1/7. So there it is. So you have to draw that. You have to put in what is the intercepts. This is 2. 1 6/7 is 1.67. That is 5. And this point here is 8/7. Now we need to find the intercept. We need to find that intercept. To do that, I'm going to go menu. I'm going to say analyze graph. And I'm going to go to intersection. So intersection is 4 there. Intersection is 4. Click on intersection. Where do you want to find the intersection? Anywhere on the left of the intersection is the lower bound. The upper boundary is above that. Anywhere above. And if you see that hand, you can actually move so you can read better. If you have a hand like that and you hold it in, it grabs onto it. You can move it to where you want to see it, and you can press to release. So that will be the point 108. So where it is the same over here is 108 and 1.76. And that's then the simultaneous equation using your graphics calculator. If they say you need to, for justification, how you will justify this is you'll have to have this here, and then also have maybe a step is say draw graph 1, draw graph 1, draw graph 2, draw graph 2, use the analyze graph, use analyze graph function to find intersect. Okay, you can either do that or you can say which buttons did you actually press. And that is how you use your graphics calculator to draw simultaneous equations. You're only going to do this if they ask you to do it, or if you have time to check your algebraic solutions.